Good morning. Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to teach 6th standard science. In that continuity of the lesson, changes around us. Okay, children. In the last class, we learned about the concept some changes takes place around us. Is it? Yes, students. In our surrounding, some of the changes that takes place. We classified them into two types. One is reversible change, another one is irreversible change. Yes, children, the change which is reversed and come back to the same position or initial state, we call such type of change as reversible change. Example, squeezing of rubber ball, freezing of water to ice are few examples of reversible change. Some of the changes are there which aren't reversed back and which doesn't come to the initial state. We call such type of change as irreversible change. Okay. So in that example, cooking of food, once it cooked, it doesn't come to the first state or the initial state. Growing of plants and animals are few examples. According to the reversible and irreversible change, we classify the changes into two main types. They are physical change and chemical change. What are this physical change? The change in which new substance doesn't form. We call such type of change as physical change. The change in which no new substance formed. Such type of change is a physical change. Example, freezing of water, tearing of paper, dissolving of solid in water, condensation and evaporation, wool knitted to sweater, or few examples of the change that is physical change. Okay. And come to the chemical change. The change in which the new substance or form are produced. So we call such type of change as chemical change. In all this chemical change, new type of molecules will form, children. Example, cooking of food. If you cook the food, again it doesn't come to the initial state where the change into the new form. We call such type of change as chemical change. Burning of paper, wood and fuel, it turns to ash. In the beginning, the state is different, and after conversion, the state is totally different. Rusting of iron. Rusting of iron is also a chemical change when new substance, that is rust, is formed from iron, which we cannot reverse. It is irreversible. Next, conversion of milk to paneer. Once it converted, it doesn't change again to milk. Here, the new product form. In all the cases, if you see, that is cooking of food, burning of paper wood and other fuels, rusting of iron, conversion of milk to cottage cheese or paneer, new substance form. So such type of change we call as chemical change. Okay. So the chemical change is affected and the physical change is affected by certain factors. So which are those factors? In today's class, we are going to learn about the factors affecting the changes. Okay, now the first is heating. If you heat the material, it changes its state. Heating is one of the most important condition required for the changes that takes place, whether it may be the physical change or chemical change, children. Example, melting of ice. To melt ice, it needs the heat. Temperature is needed. Evaporation of water. Heat is required. Cooking of food. Heat is required. Burning of paper or wood. We need a heat. So both physical and chemical changes takes place only when the original substance is heated. Here the ice started melting. Water evaporates. Food after cooking changes the new substance. For all this, it needed, the thing is heat. So heat affects chemical change as well as physical change, children. Next, mixing solution of different substance may result in formation of the new substance or chemical change. If we are going to mix solution of different substance, there is a formation of new substance will take place or the chemical change where new product is formed has taken place. Passing electricity. So that is electrolysis of water. Here passing electricity through some substance, it causes the changes, children. If you pass the electricity to some of the substances, we can see some changes. Example, when electricity is passed through water. If you see in the picture, the electricity is passing to the water. Water has H2O, hydrogen and oxygen is present. When electricity is passed through water, this H2O molecule, it is broken down into hydrogen and oxygen separately. So, mixing solution of different substance by passing electricity, they cause the change. When electricity is passed through water, it splits the H2O molecules into hydrogen and oxygen. Okay. So adding water. Addition of water, some substances leads to physical change. Yes, children, if you add the water to some substances, the physical changes will take place. In some, chemical changes will take place. Example, addition of water to flour. You will add water to the flour. The change of the state or the shape or the size, we can see the changes. It forms the dough for making chapatis. Isn't? Yes. So, this is a change we can notice when we are going to add a water. Okay. The next is changes due to the heat. Here, every change that takes place around us, they releases energy. Yes, children, we need energy for doing some activities. Energy is needed. While doing the activities in a whole day, we need the energy. Energy is needed for activities like tearing the paper, cooking a food, drying clothes, and so many other examples are there. For that, it needs energy. At time, energy is given out when a change occurs. Example, when paper, wood, fuel like petrol, diesel burn. Burning of petrol, diesel, wood, paper and other substances. It releases the light and heat. The light is generated and the heat is released. So energy is released even when steam condenses to the water or water freezes to form ice. Okay, so every change that takes place around us, either it may be the physical change or chemical change, we need energy. Energy is needed for doing the activities. At time, energy is given out, changes occur. When there is a burning of the material will take place, light as well as heat energy is released. Okay, no children? So changes due to expansion and contraction. As you know that some materials they will expand and some materials they will contract. So some of the changes takes place due to expansion and contraction of substance. Some substance like iron expand or increases in size when heat is generated. When heated, we are going to heat the iron. The molecules present in the iron, it expands or increases in size or grow in size and contract or become smaller or shorter when, yes, when they are going to cool. So heating expands, cooling contracts. You have noticed the common example of a railway track. Yes, children. There is a small gaps we can see between the rail ends to allow for expansion of the rail in the hot weather, in the hot temperature. When the temperature is increased, the iron started expanding. So they left a gap between that for the hot weather. This is known as expansion joints. In winter season or when the temperature is less, the tracks, what we can see the railway tracks, it contract back and come to the same position. So changes due to the expansion and contraction, changes occur in some of the materials like iron. It expands or increase in the size because the molecules present in the iron on heating, it started expanding and contracts when it cool. So we can notice the changes by expanding and by contracting the material. Okay. Next is solubility and factors affecting it. The homogeneous mixture of two or more substances is called solution. As you know that we will make a solution. We will add the water, we will add the sugar or salt to the water, it make a solution. In a solution of water, add sugar water, is called as a solvent. See here, in a solution of water and a sugar, water is a solvent. In a solution, assume one solution, it is a sugar solution or it is a salt solution. In that solution, we are using sugar and water. Here, what the water we used, we call that water as solvent. So, solvent is the substance in which the other substance is added. Solvent is the substance we are going to add the substance, other substances. The sugar which is added to the water is a solute. Yes, children, water is a solvent, sugar or a salt, we call it as a solute. By combining this, we call this one as sugar as well as water as a solution. Yes, water is a solvent, sugar is a solute. By mixing these two substances, what the product is formed, we call that one as solution. Only a certain amount of solute can be added or dissolved in a solvent. If you are going to add more amount, it does not dissolve. If we keep on adding a solute to the solvent, a stage comes when no more solute will be soluble. If you are going on adding the sugar to the water, one stage will come where the solute, means the sugar, is not going to dissolve. At this stage, the solution is called saturated solution, children. Yes, we keep on adding a solute to the solvent. A stage comes when no more solute will be soluble in it. At this stage, the solution is called a saturated solution. Okay. The maximum amount of solute that can be dissolved in 100 milliliters of the solvent, it depends on the room temperature also. It is called solubility of the substance. Okay. The solubility of the substance is depend upon temperature. Generally, solubility increase if the temperature is increased. It happens by the intermolecular space between the solvent. Okay. And also increased on heating. Therefore, more solute can dissolve in a solvent when solvent or a mixture is going on heating, children. The solubility of the sugar or other solute in water increased when? Increase in temperature. Yes. Every solute has own solubility. Example, solubility of sugar in water is more than solubility of salt in water. Also, with increase in the amount of water, solubility of sugar rises rapidly, whereas the solubility of salt increases very slowly. So, these are the factors affect the substance, okay, or the solubility affecting the factors. Many other types of solutes can dissolve in water like lime juice, the gases like oxygen. The solubility of gases in water is very less, okay. Then we came to the last part of the lesson. Water is a universal solvent. Yes, children. We call water as a universal solvent because it dissolves most of the substances in it. So we called as universal solvent. Water can dissolve large number of substances in it. Rivers carry large amount of minerals which is dissolved by the water from one place to another place. We need to digest the food. We need water to digest. We need a digestion of the food. For digestion of the food, we need the main thing, water. Without water, we cannot digest. The particles will not dissolve. So for digestion of the food, we need water. During digestion, food is broken down into simple substance and that is soluble in water. Afterwards, when it is soluble, it is absorbed by the body. Not only the animals, plants also absorb nutrients from the soil by the help of water. Minerals from the roots of plants, food from the leaves are transported to other part of the plant. This is because of the water. Okay, now children? Children, in this lesson, we learned about some of the changes. They are irreversible change, reversible change, physical change, chemical change. Along with that, in today's class, we learned about some of the factors that affecting the changes, that is heating effect, passing electricity, adding water, changes due to heat, as well as changes occurs by expansion and contraction. We learned the concept of solubility and then we learned about water is a universal solvent. I hope you understood the class. In the next class, I'm going to start new lesson 4. Until then, have a good day children. Bye.